So hey there fellow YouTubers, it's Frank Bush here again. Today I thought I'd just stop. I'm in a rest area. I thought I'd just stop and kind of show you how to quickly put together an adjustable Ridgeline with a few pieces of cordage. So I've got a main length of cord that's say 20 foot long roughly, and then I've got a smaller 7-8 foot length, and then has an eye on the one end, and then I've got a loop of fabric, or a loop of paracord. So what I'm going to do, this is just a, like I say, a length of rope. I'm going to just try to get a little closer to the camera so you can see this good. So I'll just tie a loop onto the end of it. So I'm just going to kind of put a bite into it, I loop it on my fingers, and then I take that end and pull it through. Gives me my loop for the end of the line. Now, like I say, this is about a 20 foot line, and on the other end I just tied an overhand knot just to make a little stopper knot. So the thinking I'm going to do really is, on the end with the stopper knot on it, I'm going to take this loop of paracord and I'm going to create a Prusik loop on here. So in order to create a Prusik loop, you kind of set it in as such, and I want to just kind of wind this in on itself a couple times, 3 times to be precise, and see if I can apply tension here. When it comes to dressing this up, you want to make sure each line of the paracord's looping on itself goes further and further to the outside. And let me just make this a bit easier. So you can see it's kind of set over onto itself, so I want to adjust that so that it all sits flat and flush. It's hard to do and try to get it into the camera angle, but in essence I want it to loop from the inside around and around out, and I want to kind of tighten that all up. It's a little finicky to get the knot to sit, but it should start to take that kind of shape then. I'll just make it a little tighter. So it should have that kind of look and feel. Now you've got a Prusik on the line. This allows you to slide when there's no tension being applied, the loop up and down the line, and as soon as you apply tension to one side or the other, it locks. So now I've got that set on the end where the little overhand knot was tied, and the reason for that is, as I slide this Prusik, if I come all the way to the end of the line, it just acts as a stopper knot to stop it from going any further. So now on the other piece of cordage I have, like I say, it's just a 6-7 foot piece. I've got a loop. I'm going to wrap that around the tree and feed it through itself as such, and then I'll cut scenes and show you as I move further now. Okay, so I'll just use this as an example. So I put the eye of the cordage, pull the other end through. Like I say, it's only 6-7 foot of it, so it comes out a couple feet as such. So now what I'm going to do, I'll just grab a stick. Now what I'm going to do is, towards the end now, there's no stopper knot or anything on this end, I'm going to make a Marlin spike hitch. So you want to create a loop, roll it in on itself, pull up on that inside, and just stick a stick through. It gives me a toggle now. So as you can see, really simple. I just go around whatever the tree object is I want to lash onto. I come down and I'm out to a toggle. Just a, fairly rigid stick. Can be varied lengths, a couple inches. So I'm going to take the other hank of rope where I tied on that loop, the Prusik loop. I'm just going to take this end, I'm going to take its eye, run it around, and put the cordage through so it's set onto the tree. Sorry, trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time is always entertaining at best. But as you can see, nothing complex. I'm going to run this out now. And now I'm to the point where the Prusik loop is. So I want to move this Prusik loop up away from the dead stop end, if you will, because I want some room to play here. And in essence, what I'm going to do is take this toggle that we created, I'm going to feed it through the Prusik loop, and I'm going to make sure that the Prusik loop sits against the knot. Let's see if I can catch it on camera, okay. So that the Prusik loop sits against the knot, not against the wood. So by doing such, it then allows me to apply tension to the Prusik and tighten this knot up. And the ridgeline becomes tighter and tighter. So you can see now, this Prusik allows me to apply tension to the line just by sliding it along and letting it lock on itself, and allows me to get a taut ridgeline. There's the Prusik, the toggle just hooked on the loop. Like I say, it's not pressed against the wood itself, it's against the rope or the cordage, if you will, and that way you don't snap the wood. But as you can see now, so we've got the eye that wraps around the one tree, comes along to the toggle goes through the loop of the Prusik adjusts to create tension on the line. Like I say, there was the stopper knot at the end just to make sure the Prusik never comes off the end, and then it goes off straight off to the other tree. So the good part about this setup is you can have this in your bag as two just pieces of kit. And like I say, even this toggle is just rough. I'm doing this as a quick example. You could smooth this off if you were worried about it poking tarps and that type of stuff. But one way or the other, this allows you to have an adjustable ridgeline that's really rapid to set up. So to take this all apart, I simply push on that Prusik, this comes loose, I can slide the toggle out, and now I've got my two lines again. From that point, I can just take this off, pull out the Marlin spike hitch, I'm back to it just being a piece of line. I come up, grab and pull the eye off the tree. The one side is done completely, and when it comes to the other side, I just grab that line and pull it off the tree. Okay, so I'll just do a quick walkthrough of how I kind of reset my rope to throw out the back of my bag. So I take the eye end, put that in between my two middle fingers and squeeze, and then I do figure eights around my pinky and my thumb. Keep doing that and doing that. Now when I get up closer to the end, that the Prusik's on, I'm going to slide that Prusik back up the line a couple feet and just carry on with the figure eight pattern. Slide my fingers out, take that bundle now, squeeze it together, wrap around, and then I just loop it through itself. Now what this allows is I can pull on this loop and this whole pile will become quick release. So I'll do a real-time reattachment of this on a wider angle and putting up this ridgeline. You can see how rapid it can truly be. Like I say, that's the top ridgeline. And I'll just walk through it one more time. So I've got the eye that hooks on itself. Runs out 6-7 foot length of rope. I've put in a toggle with a Marlin spike hitch. And then the Prusik loop holding on to that toggle. Applied tension on the Prusik. And then you could potentially put additional Prusiks along the line. And then it just eyes onto the other side. Simple, effective. You can make this extremely tight with this Prusik loop and it'll hold. It's good effective knot that way. And like I say, if you wanted to have this more off to the side, you wouldn't necessarily put your toggle as far out as I have. I just knew my lengths of rope were shorter. You could put it up closer to the tree so it wasn't inhibiting any of the tarps hanging or anything. So this loop toggle combination has lots of different uses. I just showed an example of kind of a quick lashing a tripod up in the air. But you could easily use this to tie off tarp points and other things where if your tarp is, instead of having grommets, your tarp has loops for the tie out points. You can easily just feed the stick through the loop and apply tension that way as well. You know, I've found many uses for these kind of adjustable length, easily applied tension lines, if you will, whether it be guy lines or ridge lines or whatever other different kind of line you need. These are handy to do and they're simple. Once you make your kit, once you make your kit once or twice, or once you get it a couple times, it becomes an invaluable tool to just master the skill set of having when you're out in the woods. It makes doing a lot of the Ropecraft projects a lot easier when you can quickly throw up lines and apply tension between 2 points. And like I say, these are now pre-tied where there's a quick release. I simply just take them and pull, and it all comes unraveled without getting knotted on itself, and allows me to quick release my lines. But these will just get tossed back in my bag for use in another day. But it's an alternative ridgeline concept. There's 1,000,001 different ways you can do them, but I really wanted to kind of show using the toggles and the Prusik loops in combination to have the ability to easily create tension that's adjustable without having to retie the knots, and it's an invaluable thing, really. Thanks for watching.